Who did the Chiefs draft when they drafted a corner?
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Don't do it to me.
I don't know what to say. The Patriots have drafted offensive lineman Cole Strange from Chattanooga with the 29th pick in the draft.
They did it to us, Evan.
In my mind, is a 4th-round pick that the Patriots are taking here with the 29th pick. I am trying to be as professional as I possibly can with this analysis and not lose my head. He is very experienced. Yeah, I can read my notes on him. I had him as my 8th rated interior offensive lineman in the draft. 44 career starts, hyper aware in pass protection, good feel for the position, hand strength, outside hand strikes, makes it difficult to dent the corner on him, has play speed to work laterally and up to the second level, feet sustain and run through the blocks, good double team technique, polished all around, loves looking for work. They drafted a starting guard in the 1st round that, in my mind, is a 3rd or a 4th round guy. And this is a definition, in my opinion, of getting too cute with it. Like, there's just no other way to put it. This Bill Belichick, for all of the smoke that he blows up our you-know-whats about how need doesn't matter and you don't draft based off of need, you draft based off of talent and you draft based off of best player available. I don't ever want to hear Bill Belichick say that to us ever again because it's a load of crap. It's an absolute load of crap. They took Cole Strange because they needed a guard. He had 41 starts at left guard last year. They're going to play Michael Onwenu at right guard. They're going to play Cole Strange at left guard. But I never, ever, ever want to hear anybody out of One Patriot Place tell us again that need is not a priority on their draft board because they just did. This isn't even Zion Johnson. And this is the biggest reach that they have made in the draft since we've been covering the draft at CLNS. The biggest reach that they've made. Bigger than Kyle Duggar, way bigger than N'Keal Harry. Like, not even close, right? Not even remotely close.
I know people will say shades of Logan Mankins here when they drafted him late in the 1st round. Kind of an unknown commodity.
Yeah, that will be the positive spin on it. And look, like I said, 44 career starts. The guy is ready to go.
In 6 years.
He's a 24-year-old.
He'll also be 24 when the season begins.
Yeah. He's ready to go, right? He'll start at guard for them probably day 1. I don't know how to positively spin this, and I'm not going to. Like, I don't think it's fair to the people watching and stuff to positively spin this move. This is with Daxton Hill, Nakobe Dean, Tyler Gordon, Andrew Booth Jr., some of the wide receiver talent that's still on the board. This is a massive, massive, massive reach. I mean, we're talking about a reach of epic proportion here. This is like Jordan Richards level. I can't even really think of a comparison with them in the 1st round. Logan Mankins was considered a high draft pick. Like, Logan Mankins was a smaller school guy out of Fresno, but most people had him as like a top 50 player in the draft, right? I mean,
this was a, by some boards, and again, I understand media and NFL teams have different evaluations. I saw a board recently that had him as the 50th best player remaining.
Yeah. So if you don't want to trust me, there's nobody I trust more when it comes to offensive line than Brandon Thorne. We had him on the podcast a few weeks ago to talk about offensive line. The guy knows offensive line inside and out. He works with NFL teams. He had Cole Strange as a 3rd-round pick value. He had him as a 3rd-round pick value. He had him as interior offensive lineman 12. He was the 12th rated interior offensive lineman on Brandon's board. And the Patriots took Strange in the 1st round. What do you say about it, John?
I mean, you stupidly, Evan, I said they dodged that interior lineman bullet when those other guys went off the board, and I'm paying for that right now.
We all
again, look, I'm not going to pretend I'm Evan Lazar level draft guru here. I will say that just from a positional standpoint, this is my least favorite thing that they do by frigging far. And it just, I understand it. And I understand you're always going to say things like, well, look at the track record. And it's hard to argue with the track
Right.
record. This is just bad business to me. I don't understand that. That's the guy I liked. That's the guy I took. Okay. If you're going to trade back for value, that means you can keep trading back for value, okay?
Yeah.
That means the player 21 you were going to take, you thought you can get a 29, and you could be wrong, which means, so you have to calculate that the guy I like here, I think I can get him later. And that's fine. You have to do that. But just the value of this, whether or not he was a highly rated guard, this is the last direction we wanted to see them go with one of their early picks here. Because what do they need? They need freaking playmakers. They have to be able to match up with guys who can make plays. And offensive line is important. Great. But we've seen this. They can do this. They can draft these guys later. They've done it a million times before. So I would have been annoyed if they drafted a guard with a first-round grade in the first round. But to draft a guard with a third or fourth-round grade at the end of the first round here, I don't get it. And I'm going to go back to the Robert Kraft comments in the offseason, Evan, about kind of, little shot across the bow about, hey, draft was good last year, but we got to repeat it. It's not like Robert Kraft is in there with his own big board wondering, I would have taken this guy, but he's got to understand what happened here. And
Yeah.
I just don't get this. Like, the heat is on, man. Like, you got to step up. I don't know how you think that you do that with this pick. I don't understand it. I mean, I don't think anyone's ever going to be able to understand this one. Even if he turns into even if he turns into a good NFL player, that's fine. Draft him in the third round.
Right.
That's fine. Just draft him there.
I mean, look, there's got to be a mock draft out there. Alex and I did 100 of them, right? There's got to be a mock draft out there where we took Cole Strange in like the third or the fourth round for the Patriots to play guard. He's a fit for the team. There's no doubt about that. The issue that I continuously have with this, first of all, like I said when we first announced the pick, first of all, if they come out ever again and tell me that need doesn't matter to them in the draft, like I'm just going to shut off the Zoom call. Like I'm just going to walk out because that's just such BS. Like just don't feed us BS, right? Like I just don't feed us the freaking line. He's talked to Scott Zolak the other day. Right? It's on Patriots.com where he gives the speech again. Well, you don't really draft based off of need because if the player doesn't work out, then you still have a need and like you just take the best player. Cole Strange here at 29. Nobody was taking Cole Strange tonight. Nobody else. Nobody else was taking Cole Strange if they traded back into the 30s and drafted him there. Nobody was taking Cole Strange until midway through tomorrow night. Point blank. And they took him here at 29 because they needed a guard. They looked at their depth chart. They said, we have Onwenu, but we need a guard. So we're going to take a guard and there we go. Need filled. How the heck does this make you compete with Buffalo? How does this get you any closer? The team that I traveled to Buffalo and watched them got absolutely run off the field by the Bills. In a non-competitive playoff game, non-competitive from the opening drive on. And you're telling me that now you're better off against Buffalo because you have a guy, Cole freaking Strange from Chattanooga at guard? Oh, get out of here with it. Honestly, they do this all the time with the draft. They overthink it. They try to be the smartest team in the room. They had a Patriot player in the secondary in Daxton Hill staring them in the eyes, like literally saying, here I am, Bill. You made your trade down. You set it up perfectly. I'm available. I'm on the board. And that I could say, okay, well, now they have Daxton Hill. So next time when they go up against Buffalo and they put Isaiah McKenzie on the field and they start running him on 17 crossing routes over the middle, you have a guy that ran a 4.3 that can run with him. Good. We made some progress. Cole Strange does not move the needle one iota for this team. And quite frankly, none of the offseason moves that they have made so far have. So I just don't know where this leaves us. If I'm Mac Jones, and look, it's Mac's second year. He knows better. But if I'm Mac Jones, I'm sitting there and I'm saying, Zach Wilson got Garrett Wilson, right? Like, they just got Garrett Wilson. Jacksonville is making moves to get players. You know, all these teams are trading up. Detroit, they just got Jared Goff, Jameson Williams. Atlanta doesn't even have a quarterback, but they still drafted Drake London. And you gave me a guard. Like, what can I do with that? Because guess what? The only guy that actually showed up in that game in Buffalo in the playoffs was Mac. So I just, that to me is just absolutely, this is one of the worst picks I've seen Bill make. And Cole Strange might actually end up being unreal.
Just take him later.
Right.
Just take him later. You got to read the board. It's part of the job. Like, right. It's part of the job. That's the point. That's why they have rounds. You don't just pick players randomly. It's why there's rounds. There's later rounds to take these guys. You know, and again, the Jordan Richards was the same one. It's like they took him in the second. He was rated a 6th. Great. You love the player. Reach for him in the 4th then.
Right. Take him tomorrow night. Take him in the second round.
Your guy Hill went 31.
Whatever. Like, honestly, like, when I joked around about not wanting Zion Johnson, I was joking, right? Like, I was being serious, but like, at least with Zion Johnson, I can look at it and say, oh, okay, Zion Johnson's probably going to be a Pro Bowl guard. I don't even think Cole Strange is going to be a Pro Bowl guard. I think Cole Strange is going to be a starter in the league.
You know what he projects as? Eventual starter in most scouting reports.
Right.
He's not even a plug and play. It's not even I needed a guard and I got a guard. And he might.
This to me too, in so many ways, and you know, when we
the Chiefs took my guy.
Who did the Chiefs take?
Yep.
Karlaftis. When I don't know. I just, when I look at Cole Strange, like, the boxes, culture fit, like he's got it all figured out. He's got experience. Like, he's that kind of guy, right? Like, he's just, he checks their boxes in all that kind of way, but just draft him when he's supposed to be drafted. Just draft, like, even if you want to reach on him around, like some guys, you know, people had him in the 2nd or the 3rd round. Take him tomorrow night. Take him with your first pick in the 2nd round.
Honestly, it's reckless, Evan. It's sabotage at this point. It's just vandalizing the draft. You just gotta be able to manage the board better. You just have to manage the board. You can't just say, I like the guy, I'm taking the guy. You have to move. You got to trade. You got to take that player later. You just can't do it. It doesn't matter if you like the player. You have to do your work. They're not going to be taken before your next pick. Take them then. Even at 54, you'd be like, wow, that was a reach.
Right.
But come on, you know, are you telling me this was this much better than the next guard you're going to get? Oh my goodness gracious. You know, and we've seen it. Anyway.
You know, now here comes like the spin, right? You know, now I'm getting text messages. Oh, you know, Strange was going to be an early 2nd round pick. You know, he's going somewhere in the 30s. It's not that much of a reach, and the media was higher on him, and all this kind of, or lower on him than the teams were, and it's not even the point. Like, it's not the point. Whether he's the 80th best player in the draft, like some media had him, or he's, you know, the 40th best player in the draft. You reached on a non-luxury position.
Yeah.
That's the point. You reached by a half a round. I'll give it to you. I'll give you it. I'll give you the half a round. You reached on a half a round at a non-premium position, and it's not going to make you any better against any of the teams in your division. Versus
what you could have done to fill this positional need in other ways,
Right.
In other ways, when other people draft, they need to clear space. They need money to pay their draft picks. Other guards come free. You trade a late round draft pick for
Right.
somebody to plug and play if you need to do that. You draft in the 3rd or 4th round with one of your many picks. You've been very successful there. There's good value to be had at that point in the draft on those positions. That's where you go get a guy like this, a little ham and egger, plug and play sort of guard. That might compete for a starting job. That's where you go get him. You don't waste a 1st round pick on it. So
and the worst part about it is that you traded Shaq Mason for a 5th round pick just to draft Cole Strange in the 1st round. So you created the need, right? Like you created the hole, and now you're getting it this way, right? Like so you had to take the guard in the 1st round because you created the hole. And I don't know. It just ultimately what it comes down to is one, and maybe ultimately, like maybe the Patriots will end up being right, and we'll all end up looking like idiots. But
as we have many times before,
the rest of the league is telling you that these other positions are more important than the positions that you're prioritizing, right? Wide receiver, corner, pass rusher. These are the positions that other teams are going after. And the Patriots are insistent that interior offensive line play is worth a 1st round pick. Maybe they'll end up being right, but it's archaic. It's not how the rest of the league is looking. It's not how the rest of the league is making decisions. It's not how the rest of the league is moving. And ultimately, I at some point you have to really just wonder. And I look at it too, and I say this was the concern. This is the concern that I had with Matt Groh being named the Patriots director of player personnel. My concern was that Bill was going to be surrounded by a bunch of yes men, and Matt Groh was not going to have the balls to say to him, Bill, like, we're not going to actually take Cole Strange in the 1st round, right? And everybody all in Groh, Alex was all in Groh we trust. This is Bill. It's Bill's board. Bill's making the picks. Bill's doing the scouting. This is Bill's guy. So, there's Matt Groh, if he had a bigger say in this, then I can't imagine that they're taking Cole Strange here. I just can't. I don't know. It just, at some point we gotta at some point we can't just keep doing this. Like, these other teams are their talent on their roster is just so much better. And the Patriots are out here drafting guards that are 2nd and 3rd round picks on day one. Yeah. I mean, thank God they didn't take the guy at 21, right? I mean, thank God.
I don't know what else we have to say. They're going to talk to us a little bit
about it real
because
quickly.
they're about to talk to us, so we got to jump off.
Yeah, the last thing I'll say really quickly before we got to go. I understand football is king. I understand that people will always follow the Patriots and always root for the Patriots, and they'll have their fan base and stuff like that. They keep making moves like this, then I don't know how much more, some fans are actually going to take of it. I don't know. I mean, they lost a lot. They kind of, their trust was wavered there with letting Tom Brady go. Now you're taking guards from Chattanooga in the 1st round. Like, I just don't know. At some point in time, I can't blame the fan base for just being like, does he, what are we doing here?
It's a look, again, we've been proven. I'm not playing devil's advocate because I want to. I'm frustrated. I think most of the viewers here are as well. But again, they've done this and been proven right in the past. So all you can do is hope that this player
even if he turns into Logan Mankins, though, John?
I don't care. I said the same thing.
Right.
I don't care. That's not what you wanted to do at this slot in the draft, given your team needs. So
right.
It wasn't guard. And I don't care. I don't care who you got. So that's where we're at here. We are going to wrap it up. We're going to hear. Is it Groh or Bill talking after round one?
It's Groh. He'll tell you all about how great of a guy Cole Strange is.
We felt he was a good player.
Right.
We talked to him. He's really good. He does a lot of good things.
Yeah.
Why didn't you trade back? Well, we felt this was a good decision at the time, given what we had. So anyway, have fun with that, Evan. I'm going to skip it.
I'll try.
Yeah. All right. Hey, thanks to the fans here.
Thanks, everybody.
To
Sorry
everybody
it wasn't a more exciting pick for us to break down.
Yo, it got exciting late there. When
I really thought for a second it was Trent McDuffie. I was like, okay, this I can sink my teeth into.
So anyway, you went from Shaq Mason and a fifth for Shaq Mason for. I just can't even talk about it anymore.
Yeah,
I just can't do it. Anyway, like I said, we hopped on here. We thought they were going to pick at 21. They didn't. They traded back. We've been on here for an hour and a half here, so thank you guys for hanging with us. Obviously, everyone who watched the pre-draft show with Alex as well. We'll be back tomorrow. Oh, can you hear me, Evan?
Yes.
Sorry. We'll be back tomorrow again. Are you guys doing Patriots beat wrap up tomorrow?
We'll do it sometime tomorrow afternoon, yeah.
Okay. Evan and I will do the same thing tomorrow. We'll jump in and we'll talk when the Patriots are going to make their picks and do all of that jazz. Maybe we'll do a little pre-draft show too if we're getting any buzz. But that's kind of where we're at with it. Evan, any final thoughts?
Nope. That's it. Strange.
People are strange. Good night, all. Thanks again for watching. Hang in there, everybody. Hang in there.